You were amazing. Half of you were amazing.
Yes.
As you well mentioned, we waited 40 years. Well, not us, because we were not born. I love how this movie flips the narrative, you know? So, I think that we're not watching humans running from the monster, we're actually following the monster. And I think it's fascinating because every single living being, even deadly creatures, have like a personal background. So do you think this kind of storytelling lets audiences connect with these villains or monsters backgrounds that we didn't care about in the past because we assumed that, okay, how a monster could have like a interesting and even moving personal
Completely.
background.
I mean, every villain has their origin story, right?
Yes.
I think, that's what drew me to the project of joining this franchise and this, it's 40 years of these films and the fan base, and finally, it's been a long time coming, but I think the Predator deserves to be the protagonist. And Dan Trachtenberg, who is our brilliant director, came up with this idea to tell this, I don't want to say human story because we're not humans, but it's an emotional story, which is very unexpected and a big twist on the narrative. And I'm always curious what led to these hunts and what made them who they are, and they really dive into the lore and take things from the comic books that I know Dimitrius read and studied all the Predator films to be able to portray Dec, and it's fascinating to me. So I like to be a part of something new, and it's a big challenge, and just surprise audiences with something they've never seen before.
You were amazing. Half of you were amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, funny enough, it actually wasn't the pursuit of telling the classic Predator story, but now you understand how it feels. It really was trying to figure out a way in which we could make a movie where you're really rooting for the monster, where it's on the same kind of adventure that we normally see the humans go through.
Yes.
And so we really made sure that we allowed the Predator that we followed, Dec in this case, to feel as ferocious and badass as you'd expect a Predator to be. It just so happens that his dad his family and the clan that he comes from is far more brutal, and what he has to go through in the movie are odds that are seemingly impossible.
You were awesome too. And I think that what I found so moving about your character is that every single living being needs to feel that they belong in this universe, you know? What do you think about the idea that in any group of living beings, there's always underdogs like Dec, trying to find their place in this world?
Yeah, I feel like a sense of belonging is what all humans crave. We're social beings. We're meant to, we thrive in communities. So I think what the film does really beautifully is take the mantra that Yaocha hunts alone, and it shows you that, in order to evolve, especially in Dec's case, he's an underdog, he's outcast from his clan, right? The whole mission is, you're not good enough, you're our weak link. In Yaocha culture, they call they're weak. So he's already coming from a space of, I'm not wanted here, I need to prove myself to them. I need to prove myself to my clan. But as he starts to learn on his journey, he picks up an unlikely ally in Thea, and he begins to realize that, instead of adhering to these customs and codes that, once may have served him in the past, but isn't serving him now, he's got to evolve, he has to learn new things and grow, as a person. And it's a beautiful message that I really like about the film, that you don't have to do everything alone. You don't have to just be isolated. You can ask for help and reach out, and when you pick your family, it's a beautiful thing.
And well, finally, guys, as you well mentioned, we waited 40 years, well, not us, because we were not born, to know more about the Predator. So what's your take on the fact that out of all the ways the Predator's world could have been explored, with its violence, mystery, and alien culture, the story is told through family drama, you know? How do you think this approach could connect with audiences all over the world? You know, I thought it was really intense, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited about this movie because I think it's a real, it can stand on its own. You don't have to have necessarily seen the previous films to enjoy this. And I think we're going to hopefully recruit some new generation of Predator fans with this. And I don't know, I see the potential so much in the future of other films that Dan's a fan himself, so he kind of knows what they want, and he's really pushing the boundaries there, and it's exciting.
What's cool about it as well, it does go into the lore of the Predators a little bit more and deepens, you know, what we know about the culture, but there's like, those are only little nuggets, you know, there's still so much to expand on and explore, and now Dan's, you know, he's kind of opened that door for the universe that, you know, there is more to these characters, there's more stories to be told, so yeah, what he's been able to do with the franchise, man, it's unbelievable.
My final questions, there are a lot of fans of this franchise, young audiences, but also the audiences who watched the first movie 40 years ago, I think so.
Yeah.
So what would you tell them? I think it was like your love letter to this franchise.
Yeah, in so many ways, this movie...
You're such a fan, I think.
I'm a hardcore fan.
Okay, cool.
I have been since I was a kid. And in some ways, this movie has more Predator stuff in it than any other franchise, and things that have come from fanship, more so than the movies themselves. At the same time, there's so much in it that has never been a part of the franchise, and the reason why we've been watching all these movies has not been for the human characters, it's been for the creature, and this time the creature is the one that you are bound to and rooting for, and is very much the Dutch of this movie. It's an inversion of the very first movie night from 1987, so there's so much for fans to devour that only they will get, and yet there's so much more for anyone to discover.
That's great storytelling, you know. We lean into the villain, the character we hated for years. Now we are like, you go, Deck. Well, thank you so much for your time. I really enjoyed the movie.
I'm so glad you did.
I'm a great fan of the franchise.